BlackBerry Bold 9700, expected November 2009. The second BlackBerry handset to be announced this month from RIM is the BlackBerry Bold 9700, which seems destined to replace the BlackBerry Bold 9000. As with the Storm 2, announced a couple of days ago, the 9700, or perhaps the BlackBerry Bold 2, is a pretty marginal upgrade of an existing handset, or in this case it's basically just a combination of the 9000, 8900 and 8520, with the latest version of the BlackBerry operating system on top. The primary differences between the Bold 9700 and the 9000 are the inclusion of BlackBerry OS 5, a 3.2 megapixel camera instead of a 2 megapixel one, and a small touchpad to replace the rollerball of the 9000. The 9700 is quite a bit smaller and lighter than its predecessor, and it looks more like the 8520 than the 9000 overall. The smaller size is at the expense of the display, now a 2.44-inch panel instead of the 2.6-inch one on the previous phone, although the 9700 retains the same 480 by 360 pixel resolution. Other features include 3.5G support, Wi-Fi and GPS, a good quality media player, a 3.5mm audio socket and microSD expandable memory, with 2 GB in the standard sales package. The camera has autofocus, a flash, and it supports geotagging. The maximum video recording resolution is 480 by 352 pixels, which is okay to play back on the 9700 screen, but not as good as the 640 by 480 pixels that many rivals offer. The Bold 9700's Wi-Fi implementation supports UMA, which means that it can be used as a VoIP, voice over IP device, allowing cheap phone calls if you have a suitable UMA setup at home or in your office. The latest version of the BlackBerry operating system includes a slightly refreshed interface, and there are the usual bunch of applications to go with it, including the excellent email support that you would expect from a BlackBerry. More applications can be downloaded from the BlackBerry App World store if your administrator hasn't locked it down. The big 1500 mAh battery gives up to 5 hours talk time and 15 days standby time on 3G, which is certainly good enough for most business users. A bit more life can be squeezed out of the battery by switching to GSM, but nobody really bothers much with that these days. There are 2 different UMTS variants of the Bold 9700, one with quad-band 800, 850, 1900 and 2100 MHz support, and the other with 900, 1700, 2100 MHz support. This means that the Bold 9700 can be sold on pretty much any of the diverse UMTS networks worldwide, which is handy. RIM say that the BlackBerry Bold 9700 should be available on various carriers worldwide from November onwards, and our photographs show T-Mobile USA branding, so at least we know that it's going stateside. It's not a bad phone when everything is taken into account, and basically it has everything that most users will need from a messaging device, but it is just a little disappointing. Recently RIM have just been tweaking old products, which we think is a dangerous strategy. Can RIM come up with something amazing by the end of the year? Well, given their current performance, we think not, but we can always hope.